Yo, peace, fam. This is Coach Ghazi. Hey, listen, I got a message for you today. About 10 years ago, maybe a little longer, maybe about 12, 13 years ago, myself and another brother in Phoenix, Arizona, we founded transitional houses, two transitional houses called the Debris House. And in these houses, we was housing men who were going through a transition in their life, men who probably were struggling with drug addiction, homelessness, some who had just come up out of prisons, and we wanted to help them and give back because he and I had shared a similar experience, right? So we used to have these ciphers in the Debris House where I would bring brothers in from the street, brothers who was entrepreneurs, educators, thought leaders, businessmen, just some positive brothers, nonprofit workers, and we would bring them in. We would have these ciphers, and we would try to encourage the brothers to, do something different with their life, right? So one day we was in a cipher. We would have a circle of brothers, and we would have man talk, where the brothers get together and we talk about issues that was relevant to men, right? And so one day we was talking, and it was a group of Muslims and Christians, and it was a brother who was there who practiced Buddhism, and we was all together talking. And so a lot of emphasis was on God. So one of the brothers who was in the circle, he was a Crip. When it got to him, he straight up said, "Man, fuck God." He said, "God ain't never did nothing for me." He said, "Man, hell, my grandmama prayed to God all her life. She still died. Man, my little brother, he got killed praying to God." He said, "Man, fuck God. God ain't never did nothing for me," right? Now, everybody, they were, "Oh, brother, you shouldn't say nothing like that. What's wrong with you?" They were like condemning brother, he going to hell, right? Now, I was facilitator of the circle. I was facilitator of the conversation, right? So when it got to me, I agreed with what the brother said, right? And everybody was shocked. I said, "I agree with what you said. Man, fuck God." Everybody looked at me like, "What, brother Ghazi? But man, you believe in God, brother. You're a Muslim, but how you gonna say something like that?" But what I said, man, listen. What this brother is saying is, fuck the God and the concept of God that was imposed on us and our people. See, we got to go back into history and realize that it's a certain ideal and concept of God that we have that's not necessarily proper. It ain't correct. This is the concept of God that was given to us by slave masters and their children, right? During the time of slavery. That's that Caucasianized, Europeanized image of God, that white Jesus on the cross looking down all sad and shit. That image right there, we've been praying to that image for a long time. And that God ain't never did nothing for us because it ain't the right concept of God. Now, some of us in this day and time, we even taking our athletes, our entertainers, our stars, our leaders, and our teachers as a God besides God. Some of us are guilty of idolatry here. We putting other people in the place of God. So what I said to the brother and to the brothers in the circle was, fuck that God. Because I knew that this brother was never acquainted with the true and living God. I knew that he was talking about that mystery God, that spook God, that false concept of God. He wasn't talking about the true and living God, because if he knew that God right there, he wouldn't be saying fuck that God. He'd be saying praise that God, because that God, the true God, got the power to protect, to guide, to bless, to cultivate, to elevate, to guide us in the darkness, right? So I understood that. The moral of the story is, don't be so thin-skinned when our people talk. Sometimes we talk cruel and we talk in a way that could be interpreted as anti-God or anti-intelligence, but when you look beneath it, it might be something deeper in that. If you look beneath it in your response, think 3-4 times. I'm like Muhammad said, we got to think 3 times before we open our mouth. So if we look deeper into it, our response will be more appropriate, and we maybe can help guide and elevate and cultivate our people and the ones who listen. Hey, listen, it's your brother Ghazi, Coach Ghazi. God is real. Peace.